This is not the first time this has happened. A suspended ban, a player cleared to play, and a governing body using the same rule twice in 1 year to keep a star player on the field. But this time, the team on the other side is not staying quiet. This is the Folarin Balogun case, and why Belgium is calling it a betrayal of football's integrity. The incident took place in the round of 32 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, during the match between the United States and Bosnia and Herzegovina. In the 64th minute, Folarin Balogun and Bosnian defender Tarek Muharemovic both challenged for the ball, a routine contest that occurs many times in every match at this level. The on-field referee watched the challenge in real time and did not consider it worthy of a card. No whistle was blown and play continued normally. Then VAR intervened. The video review official examined the footage and sent the referee to the pitch side monitor. In slow motion, the replay showed Folarin Balogun's foot landing on the back of Muharemovic's ankle as both players went for the ball. This decision immediately divided football analysts. Multiple referees pointed out that VAR protocol specifically states that slow motion footage should not be used to evaluate the severity of contact for red card decisions, because slow motion can distort the apparent speed and force of a challenge. What appeared deliberate at quarter speed looked accidental at normal speed. Folarin Balogun stated he had no intention of fouling his opponent. United States head coach Mauricio Pochettino said it was never a red card in his view. Christian Pulisic, watching from the pitch, called the decision extremely harsh. Despite these reactions, the card stood. Folarin Balogun was sent off, and the United States went on to win the match 2-0, but they now faced a round of 16 match against Belgium without their leading scorer of the tournament, a player who had contributed 3 goals across the group stage and round of 32. At this point, the story should have concluded in straightforward footballing terms. A harsh red card, but one within the range of decisions VAR has produced throughout this tournament. The rule was clear, the suspension automatic, and every federation in the competition had been informed of the rule before a single match was played. The regulation itself leaves no room for interpretation. Article 66.4 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code states explicitly that a red card automatically results in a suspension for the team's next match. Article 10.5 of the FIFA World Cup 2026 competition regulations repeats this requirement in even more specific terms for this tournament. This rule had been applied consistently to every red card issued in the competition up to this point. No exception had been made for any other player. Then, on the Sunday before Monday's match, FIFA's disciplinary committee announced that Folarin Balogun's automatic one-match ban was being suspended under Article 27 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, replaced instead with a probationary period of 1 year. Folarin Balogun was declared eligible to play against Belgium. Article 27 gives judicial bodies the power to fully or partially suspend the implementation of a disciplinary sanction. The probationary condition attached meant that if Folarin Balogun committed another infringement of similar nature and gravity during the 1 year period, the original suspension would be enforced immediately alongside any new penalty. A rule that had been described to every federation as automatic and non-appealable had just been reversed. Belgium's response was built on 3 specific arguments, each supported by documentation. The first was a consistency argument. Every other red card issued in this World Cup had led to the standard one-match suspension being served in full. No exception had been made for any other case. The Royal Belgian Football Association asked why this decision was treated differently from every case that came before it. The second argument was procedural. The Royal Belgian Football Association did not learn of FIFA's decision through official communication. They learned about it through media reports. When Belgium sent a letter to FIFA requesting a copy of the decision, an explanation of the process followed, and a statement of their position on the applicable regulations. The response was equally unusual. FIFA replied that Belgium's letter constituted an appeal, that a judge had been appointed, and that the Royal Belgian Football Association had only a few hours to complete that appeal process. No information about the actual decision was provided. No explanation of the reasoning was given. No copy of the ruling was shared, only a deadline with the clock already running. The third argument concerned what Belgium described as a missing briefing point. At every match coordination meeting throughout the tournament, one standard section of FIFA's presentation covered the automatic suspension of players who receive red cards. Belgium confirmed this section had been included in all 4 previous meetings before each of their matches in the tournament. The meeting held before the United States match had that section removed. When Belgium asked FIFA, both verbally and in writing, why the section had been taken out, they received no response. Belgium's head coach Rudy Garcia addressed the situation directly with journalists. He said he did not know that at the World Cup, the 5th of July was actually the 1st of April. He said Belgium were not defending just their own federation or their national team. They were defending football, its ethics, and its integrity. UEFA issued its own statement on the matter, describing the decision as crossing a red line. The The statement said football relies on rules as the basis for fair, honest, and transparent competition, and that, in this case, the rules were not open to interpretation. UEFA stated that when the certainty of rules is no longer guaranteed by its guardians, the integrity of the game is at stake, and the credibility of a competition is undermined. UEFA described its reaction as disbelief at a decision they called unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable. This is not the only instance of Article 27 being applied in this tournament cycle to clear a major player from a suspension that would otherwise have kept them out of significant matches. Cristiano Ronaldo received a 3-match ban in November for a red card in a World Cup qualifier against the Republic of Ireland. FIFA's disciplinary committee later reduced that ban to 1 match served, plus a probationary period, keeping Cristiano Ronaldo eligible for Portugal's group stage matches. That decision drew some attention, but was processed relatively quietly, largely because it occurred before the tournament began, and Cristiano Ronaldo had already served at least 1 match of the original ban. The Folarin Balogun case differs in one crucial respect. The original red card occurred inside the tournament itself in a knockout match, with the player's eligibility for the very next game directly at stake. The decision to clear him was made and announced the day before that next match, leaving Belgium minimal time to adjust their preparation. This compressed time frame made it difficult for the process to appear anything other than rushed, raising a broader question about whether Article 27 is becoming a recurring tool rather than a rare exception. The sporting implications extend beyond this single match. If Article 27 can be used to suspend an automatic 1-match ban that tournament regulations specifically describe as non-appealable, the meaning of the word automatic within this competition becomes uncertain. Federations are left without clarity on what disciplinary consequences will actually apply to their upcoming opponents, and how quickly those consequences might change. Belgium's statement noted that, as of the time it was released, they had still not received any decision or explanation from FIFA regarding the matter. They stated they had no alternative but to challenge the player's eligibility for the match, and committed to continuing to pursue the matter in the coming hours, days, and months in defense of what they described as the fundamental principles of ethics, fair competition, and the interests of football as a whole. The impact on the match itself was concrete. Folarin Balogun had been the United States' most dangerous forward through the knockout rounds, offering movement in behind opposing defenses and the ability to finish with both feet, a dimension that gave Mauricio Pochettino's side an attacking threat that would have been difficult to replace. Belgium had spent the days between the Bosnia and Herzegovina match and their own round of 16 fixture preparing for a United States side without him. The reversal of the suspension meant that preparation had to be partially discarded within hours of kickoff. Rudy Garcia made clear that the timing of the announcement affected his team as much as the substance of the decision itself, since they learned of it through media reports and had only a matter of hours to adjust their tactical approach before one of the biggest matches of their World Cup campaign. The credibility of a World Cup depends heavily on the perception that rules apply equally to every team competing in it. When one federation presents documented evidence that a process was followed differently in their case than in every other case in the same tournament, questions about the competition's integrity move from theoretical to immediate. Belgium's statement specified that regardless of the sporting outcome of the match itself, they remain deeply concerned by the course of events that led to it, a distinction that separates their objection to the process from any objection to the final result on the pitch.